In the headlines, a number of regional experts are expected in Dominica for the National Cannabis Symposium carried for next month. In news from the region, Caribbean Development Bank and Inter-American Development Bank Invest enter into strategic partnership. And internationally, Central Intelligence Agency says intelligence indicates Iran nuclear program severely damaged. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when we return.
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beating every soul, a feeling we cannot hide. It's always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping.
DBS News.
Welcome back and welcome to the listeners of Acoustic Worship Radio. A number of regional experts are expected in Dominica for the National Cannabis Symposium carried for next month. The symposium is expected to advance the medicinal cannabis bill, establish the framework for a cannabis licensing authority, and position Dominica as a credible producer and investment destination. The National Cannabis Symposium, scheduled for July 9th to 10th at the State House Conference Center, is being held under the theme Regulatory and Economic Environment for a Viable Medicinal Cannabis Industry.
The symposium is framed in such a way that we'll be having technical experts within the medical field, within the social field. From the University of the West Indies, we expect Dr. Kwadame Unaif, regional expert in terms of social reforms within Jamaica, in terms of how the Jamaican model has assisted not only the Rastafarian community to actually benefit economically from it, but to actually look at the social challenges associated with a much more relaxed framework for the use of cannabis by mature adults. And we underscore the use by mature adults. Because unfortunately in Dominica, when we look at the tobacco and alcohol industry there, it is not a good picture for us to mirror. So for example, the average age of alcohol consumption in Dominica is 16, and that is appalling. So we expect that within the legislative framework for a medicinal cannabis industry, that much more proactive actions will be taken. So for example, already we are proposing that legal age of consent within an industry setting like that should be nothing less than 21. So these are some of the arguments that we are putting forward as we move with regards to really and truly taking advantage of what we consider to be a very golden opportunity and a green opportunity for us within the cannabis.
Technical Coordinator for the National Cannabis Advisory Committee, Dr. Almario Kazimi. He says the symposium will be held in a hybrid format where persons who cannot be physically at the State House will have the opportunity to participate virtually.
The symposium is expected to be of a hybrid nature, whereby we will be having a physical presence at the State House, and we are expected to have a multimedia presence via social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, and we expect that within these settings there, a healthy participation online. But more interestingly, as we move forward, the symposium is just the start of the exercise that we are actually engaged upon. Because as we speak, there are a number of technical committees meeting behind the scenes and developing key recommendations to put forward. We expect that this exercise will start to look at it from a public perspective in terms of where we actually go out into the communities and actually discuss the issues with regards to how we as Dominicans can tangibly participate and benefit from a cannabis medicinal industry.
Technical Coordinator for the National Cannabis Advisory Committee, Dr. Almario Kazimi. The Convent High School has named Lizanne Coffey as its valedictorian for the class of 2025, while Serena Harris was awarded salutatorian and Student of the Year Daniel Jada Frigus. 68 students formed the 2025 graduating class of the Convent High School. Minister for Education Octavia Alfred told the graduates aligning their field of study to national priorities will enable them to have easy access to funding for future studies.
As we work towards building a dynamic, resilient country, a stronger and happier people, there are new skills that we need to push Dominica's economy. And you are the people that we are depending on. You have a part to play in economic development. We need skills for the digital economy, the blue and green economy, tourism, the Cabritz Marina, the geothermal project, the new international airport, the National Center of Excellence in TVET, and the Center of Excellence in Special Education. I say this to you so that you can align your dreams and your field of study in what is going on in your country now. This will make it easier for you to access financial support for your studies, because if your studies or your field of study does not link to the national priority, then you get more of a challenge. Therefore, go do a little research on how can I use what I have to study something that could be used in geothermal or in special education or in TVET, so you can choose.
Minister for Education Octavia Alfred. Principal of the Convent High School, Isabella Prentice, raised concerns over the issue of salary adjustments for staff at the Convent High School.
Despite our quest to improve academically as a staff, so that we adequately continue to stand tall, our requests for salary adjustments have fallen on deaf ears or among the blind. Since October 2024, our written requests submitted monthly up to present for salary adjustment has not been acknowledged by the Ministry of Education officials. The graduate staff are still receiving basic pay, unlike our contemporaries in the public service. Whilst we are grateful to the government for its financial assistance to the school, the 1972 agreement took into consideration our remuneration, stating that teachers at all levels should be equally remunerated. The bias against us or ignoring of the assisted sector makes one feel invisible.
Principal of the Convent High School, Isabella Prentice. Calypsonian Tasha P. Pelty gave the feature address at this year's graduation ceremony.
You have met an important milestone. Be proud of yourself. But don't live your life worrying about only the milestones. Everyone has a different path in life. And triumph will mean so many different things to different people. At this moment, right now, bask in what you have achieved. And remember that triumphs are plentiful and meaningful. What I urge you to do, or to never do, is not to try. Phrases like, I quit, I give up, that's never happening. They limit you before you even start trying. Today begins your time. It is already your turn, and you have already begun to triumph.
Calypsonian Tasha P. Pelty. The 2025 head girl, Amika Labadie, also graduated with honors. Charlene Carrington Smith is the valedictorian of the Goodwill Primary School. 39 students graduated from the Goodwill Primary School this morning. Smith picked up a number of awards to include language arts, mathematics, science, and social studies. Adina Williams was named salutatorian, and the principal's award went to Joshua Samuel.
Like actors in a dress rehearsal, we've been preparing by trying out different roles. Besides students, we've been leaders, athletes, teammates, listeners, advisors, and so much more. We've explored what works, and maybe more importantly, what doesn't. We've learned how to bounce back from failures, find our voice, and develop our signature move that makes us stand out. Well, rehearsal ends today, and we prepare for our next opening act. There's no script for high school. We'll again have to get ready for another performance, but that's the beauty of it. What lies ahead is ours to shape, lead, and create. The choices we make, how we treat others, what values we stand for, where we invest our time and energy will differ, but the opportunity is the same, to lead a life that is authentic, meaningful, and unapologetically ours. Leadership doesn't always mean standing in front. Sometimes it means standing up for yourself, for others, and for what's right. It means listening as much as speaking, learning as much as leading. To my fellow graduates, take everything you've learned, the lessons, the laughter, the failures, and the friendships, and carry them forward. Be bold, be kind, have courage, and remember, you're not stepping onto someone else's stage. This is your life to lead.
And that was Charlene Carrington Smith, valedictorian of the Goodwill Primary School. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit is recommending the introduction of an Act of Parliament to recognize the contribution of former parliamentarians. He says his government has taken a decision to reward former prime ministers monthly, but Parliament needs to go further.
In respect to former prime ministers, as you know, there's a policy decision on the part of the government. So it's not an act of parliament, it's a policy decision that the government took, cabinet, that we provide former prime ministers with $7,000 a month. We provide them with a vehicle, we provide them with a driver, we provide them with a helper at the house. But I believe this thing needs to be ratified, in my view, by an act of parliament, because we do have an act specifying the terms and conditions of the president, and I believe that even if parliament speaks to pensions for parliamentarians, but when you look at the maths, I also believe that we need to look at this as this act. There are parliamentarians who came to this parliament and served one term. They did not find favor with the electorates next time around. Or they may have come the route of being a senator, but serve as a minister. If that person serves one term, that person is not entitled to a gratuity or a pension from parliament. In our system, it is not like in the United States. When you leave the job of president, then that's when you're making money. And so we have to look at this thing in a very transparent way. And I'm raising this because I think that we're not giving enough recognition to the contribution made by parliamentarians.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. The Dominica State College will for the first time confer bachelor's degrees in business administration at its 23rd commencement ceremony. Over 300 students will form part of the commencement ceremony on July 3rd. Officer in charge at the Dominica State College is Trudy Christian.
A grand total of 379 of our students are qualified or eligible to take part in the graduation ceremony on July 3rd. We anticipate that approximately 300 people will actually attend the graduation and participate. It is a very interesting graduation cycle for us at the college. Of particular interest is the fact that we will be conferring for the first time bachelor's degrees in business administration upon the students who have qualified for this degree. And for the first time, we will also be conferring associate's degrees in carpentry and construction. So we previously had cohorts graduate with a certificate in carpentry and construction, but this year for the first time, an associate's degree will be conferred in that area. We're also going to see at this graduation ceremony the conferring of bachelor's degrees in midwifery on a group of students, and this is the first time in a good number of years, about 7 years, that we've seen a cohort of students graduating with a bachelor's degree in midwifery.
Christian says an honors ceremony will also be hosted ahead of the commencement ceremony.
We are particularly proud that 10 Staff members of the Dominica State College will also be graduating in this graduation cycle. We do give staff members the opportunity to pursue educational goals whilst they work at the State College, and 10 of them have successfully done so and will be graduating in this graduation cycle. The keynote speaker at this year's ceremony will be Dr. Natasha Maxime, and we look forward, of course, to celebrating the success of the multitude of students who have passed through the walls of the Dominica State College and are emerging with either degrees, bachelor's, associate's degrees, or certificates that we also provide. We will also be recognizing those who have excelled academically. We will have an honors ceremony, particularly for those who have achieved cumulative grade point averages of above 3.5 if they were pursuing an associate's degree or bachelor's degree, and those who were pursuing certificates if they have received GPAs cumulatively of above 3.65, they will be honored.
Officer in charge at the Dominica State College, Trudy Christian. That's the national focus, regional and international developments up next.
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beating every soul, a feeling we cannot hide. It's always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart, who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping.
DBS News.
In news from the region, the Barbados-based Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, has said it had entered into a strategic partnership with the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB Invest, to support private sector development in the region. It said that this renewed collaboration focuses on expanding financing for trade and unlocking new opportunities for businesses across the Caribbean, placing private sector-led growth at the forefront of a common agenda. It said a key highlight of the enhanced partnership is CDB's new Trade Finance Guarantee Program, a significant milestone in regional financial innovation. And internationally, the CIA director says his agency has intelligence indicating that Iran's nuclear program was severely damaged by the recent U.S. strikes. It comes after a report leaked to U.S. media said the attack had only set back Iran's plans by a few months. Earlier today, Israel said Iran's nuclear program had been set back by many years after U.S. and Israel strikes. Meanwhile, the ceasefire between Israel and Iran seems to be holding. U.S. President Donald Trump says he does not think they will be going back at each other. That's news. The DBS Evening Sports Report up next with Gavin Richards.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beating every soul, a feeling we cannot hide. It's always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart, who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping. No matter what, we keep this flow. So the people, we will go all in. Our
Well, good evening. I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Evening Sports Report. Let's bowl off with some cricket news. The West Indies fast bowlers, well, they put the West Indies in a good position. But the Australian bowlers struck back to leave the first day of the first test match between the West Indies and Australia interestingly poised at Kensington Oval. Well, 14 wickets fell on the opening day. The West Indies quicks led by Jayden Seales and Shamar Joseph made good use of the surface as they bowled Australia out cheaply on the opening day. Australia won the toss and opted to bat first. They were under some pressure from the initial burst from Shamar Joseph. They were 22 for 3 before Usman Khawaja and Travis Head led the fight back. But then Jayden Seales came to the party, taking a 5-wicket haul as Australia were bowled out for 180. Travis Head got 59, Khawaja 47. Jayden Seales, he picked up 5 for 60 and Shamar Joseph 4 for 64, or that should be 4 for 46. Well, the West Indies in their turn at the crease, they have been pegged back by the Australians and they reached a 57 for 4 at stumps. Brandon King was not out on 23 on debut. Casey Carty made 20. Mitchell Stark has 2 for 35 so far, and Josh Hazelwood and Pat Cummins a wicket each for Australia. The scores as we head into day 2, it's Australia 180, the West Indies 57 for 4. The West Indies are trailing by 123 runs. Here now is the West Indies fast bowler Jayden Seales with his thoughts on the opening day.
Yeah, this one was pretty special for me. I've played against Australia once and I was pretty much injured during that series. So to come back here and to play against them now and get 5 on the first test match on the first day was pretty special.
You opened the bowling. Talk us through your approach with the ball through the different sessions of the day's play.
Yeah, with the new ball, it was to bowl a bit fuller because we knew how the pitch was going to play. We knew that the batsmen would come hard if we gave them any width. So the plan was to be a bit fuller to both batsmen and on the stumps as much as possible.
To what extent was the pitch and conditions helpful for your bowling success today?
Yeah, it was a bit slower than the Australians would be expecting especially. And it worked in our favour with them playing a lot at balls that they didn't have to and playing with hard hands so the edges would carry. And yeah, it worked out pretty well for us.
Your bowling partner, Shamar Joseph, picked up 4 wickets. A word on him and how he contributed?
Yeah, he was special today and I think he's been special throughout his career. I think he has a love for Australia and batting team. And he did really well for us today as well. And he contributed a lot. He got through the top order and then made it easier for us in the middle and in the end.
Projecting to the second day's play, you still trail by 123. What would be your advice to your remaining batters?
Just be yourself, back your skills, play the ball on your merit. I think there's good balls in the pitch as we saw earlier today. And it's just for the batsmen to wait for the bad balls and put back the ball when the time comes.
And that's the West Indies fast bowler Jayden Seales. Let's stay with cricket news because the former West Indies under-19 captain Stefan Pascal has been named captain of the Windward Islands under-19 team as the Windwards get set for the 2025 Cricket West Indies Rising Stars under-19 Championship, which will take place in St. Kitts from the 30th of June. Pascal will lead a 14-man squad which also features 5 other Dominican players. The other Dominicans on the team are Luvio Charles, Joel Dura, Edmond Moranci, Kestrel Estrade and Arsenio Fontaine. The team is currently in St. Lucia for a pre-tournament camp. The Windward Islands finished outside the title contention in the 2024 edition of the tournament and are determined to produce a stronger performance this year, where the team is being coached by the former Windward Islands batsman John Eugene. Let's move to basketball now as the captain of the Dr. Daru Pishle Sports Club Falcons basketball team, Yannick Regis, feels that the Falcons will come back stronger as they look to challenge for the 2025 national basketball title. The Falcons will open up their campaign in the DABA's Premier League tonight when they come up against the Police Sports Club. That game is set for 9 o'clock at the Massac Indoor Facility. The Falcons reached the semi-finals last season, and Regis says that the club has made some changes for both the Division 1 and the Premier League team.
We're very excited to get the ball rolling. New uniforms for the Division 1, new uniforms for the Premier Division. So we're very thankful to our sponsor, Dr. Daru, for coming through once again. I want to give some kudos to the ABA for putting on a league that will get both the players and the fans pumped up. This year we have some new challenges starting the Division 1 with some new players. We have the addition of Kareem Daniel, the big man formerly of the Ja Lions. I think his addition will definitely help us to secure that championship in the Division 1 that has eluded us a couple of years now. Also, playing with a key one in the Premier Division for the start of the season will be a new challenge as well. But with the maturity, with both Kaifa, Yawani, and Mishak Dibule maturing, it will definitely help us to mitigate any issues we have with with Q1 being absent. So Gavin, I just think that this year will be very good for us. I'm looking to do the double, which is winning a Division 1 championship and a Premier Division championship. So this year is just going to be one of the best years for Falcons, and we're very excited and looking forward to showing off our best basketball.
And that's the captain of the Dr. Daru Prichler Sports Club Falcons basketball team, Yannick Regis. Well, the Falcons Division 1 team will play the Perky's Pizza Young Ballers tonight. That game is also at 7 o'clock at the Maslak Indoor Facility. And at 9 o'clock is going to be the Falcons up against the Police Sports Club in the Premier Division. Let's go back to cricket news. Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley has issued a call for equal pay for women in cricket. Speaking at the CWI Weeper Awards ceremony, the Barbados leader says the time has come for gender equality and for women to receive the same pay as the men. She applauded Cricket West Indies for some of the steps that they have taken to address the challenges facing women cricketers.
To the question of women's cricket. And Kishore, I salute you for removing the distinction in travel, the disparity in travel for men and women in cricket in this region. But I simply say to you, as Billie Jean King taught us, equal pay is equal pay. I would not know how to be a prime minister as the first woman receiving the same pay as a male prime minister, to not make that point for the benefit of those in this room.
And that's the Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley. She also says that Cricket West Indies should do more to merchandise its brand.
In that vein, I use this opportunity yet again to throw out a sprat that hopefully, Mr. Deering, you and cricket legends will find a way of merging idea with capital to create that brand of tourism product that ought still to reflect the best and strongest of who we are, the legends, the cricket legends of the Caribbean, so that whether you are in Barbados or Jamaica or Trinidad or St. Vincent or St. Lucia or wherever, that we have hotels branded as cricket legends with a franchise fee coming back to the legends, and with every aspect of a hotel operation, from the menus to the paintings to the decor to everything, reflecting the game of cricket which the West Indies has distinguished itself globally on. But we are not making the connection to make the money to move beyond where we are.
Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley. In some track and field news this evening, athletics clubs from across the island will head to Portsmouth this weekend for the Kirtley Bino Club Championships. Bino was a former national athlete and coach who passed away in 2019. The meet is scheduled for the Benjamin's Park on Sunday.
The Portsmouth Benjamin's Park is the place to be this Sunday, the 29th of June from 9:30 a.m. Athletics clubs from around Dominica will converge in Portsmouth to compete in the Kirtley Bino Club Championship under the guidance of the Dominica Athletics Association. Come see the Kalinago Eagles in their bright yellow, Athens wearing black, ready to attack, Striders in orange, the Westmore Rangers in blue, Pioneers wearing green, and the Red Hot Aspirers. The winning club will be determined by the most gold medals. Which team will you be supporting? Wear their color and come on out to the Benjamin's Park this Sunday, the 29th of June.
And that's Coach Nabi Wallace of the Aspirers Athletics Club. Let's go back to, or let's stay track and field news because Jamaica's Minister for Sport, Olivia Grange, has reacted with shock and disappointment over the news that 3 of Jamaica's top athletes in track and field have decided to switch allegiance and represent Turkey. While Olympic discus champion Roj Stoana, Olympic shot put bronze medalist Rajendra Campbell, and Olympic long jump silver medalist Wayne Pinnock have all switched allegiance to Turkey. Well, Turkey has offered the athletes increased financial support. Grain says that the move highlights the need for government to place or to put things in place to establish an athlete retention strategy.
This is not to say we are comfortable losing our talent. Quite the opposite. These developments should serve as a clarion call to strengthen our national athlete support systems, not just at the elite level, but through grassroots and transition programs that secure their careers before, during, and after competition. I'm committed to looking at the following initiatives: establishing a national athlete support and retention strategy, and as indicated by the Prime Minister, that I should engage stakeholders to this effect. We will look at how we can expand partnerships with the private sector to provide financial incentives and sponsorship opportunities, enhancing training and recovery infrastructure to meet international standards, offering career transition services for athletes beyond competition.
And that's Jamaica's Minister of Sport, Olivia Grange. And a prominent Guyanese and West Indies cricketer has been accused of sexually assaulting a young woman. Well, the disturbing allegations, which have now surfaced online, are now under scrutiny by regional cricket authorities. The victim is a 24-year-old woman who has been referred to as Jane Doe to protect her identity. The alleged victim, speaking to the media in Guyana, has revealed that she has made multiple unsuccessful attempts to file an official report with the Guyana Police Force. Screenshots of WhatsApp messages appear to show the cricketer apologizing for his actions and asking that the matter remain private. In one exchange, he also allegedly offered monetary compensation in an attempt to make amends, which was refused. While the incident is said to have occurred